Hello Virgo, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tony Michelle. We are not all love, light, twin flames, and unicorns over here on this channel, so please keep that in mind. And welcome to your August 2021 Tarot and Astrology video. This is for Virgo, suns, moons, or risings, though risings may resonate most to the astrology portion, so make sure that you're watching your other signs videos so you can get more messages. And also, this is a general reading, meaning that not every single message may resonate with you, so keep that in mind as well. And yeah, let's get into it. So Virgo, we are in Leo season. We have the Sun and Mercury in Leo now, and then we also have Mars and Venus in your sign. And so this is a pretty big month for you, as well as a lot of the planets are going to be in your sign as well and making aspects from your sign. So expect this month to be a little bit more active than maybe like last month or the last couple months. There's definitely going to be more energy happening for you this month. And so basically with your 12th house, with the sun moving through your 12th house, this 12th house transit, and your ruling planet moving through your 12th house, especially the first like couple weeks of the month, you're going to be feeling a little bit more pulled back, a little bit more withdrawn. Although this is Leo, so it's like you want to express yourself, but in a way that's not so straightforward, or you want to do things that maybe may not be so straightforward. And another way that this could come up is that you could be really feeling these first couple weeks of August, or already have been feeling if you're watching this still before August, like things are becoming really clear on where you hold yourself back, and also where you don't express yourself as much as maybe you should, or where you're your own worst enemy. You know what I mean? Where you may need to get away and just have fun and enjoy shit for a little bit instead of taking things so seriously. Because once your ruling planet comes into your sign, you're gonna get to Virgo out all the way. So right now, while it's in your 12th house, do something fun, you know? Go on that vacation, get away to the spa, go do something, get away from your everyday normal life, your everyday details of life, and have fun, you know what I mean? Go to a comedy show, go to the movie theater, you know what I mean? Go skydiving, I don't fucking know, you know what I mean? Just find something to do that kind of gets you out of your comfort zone a little bit, because I really feel like, sorry, I feel like I have a hair in my eyeball here, but I feel like this is going to give you a new perspective on life and yourself. And another thing that you're going to notice the first part of this month, Virgo, is that you're going to really be seeing certain habits that you have that really pull you away, where maybe you've been conforming too much, or being too passive, or kind of sliding in the background too much, or doing too much for others, making decisions based off of others too much. And this is a time where it's like, you know, get away from the normal, mundane, boring shit of your life and give yourself permission to fully express this side of yourself that's within you, that wants to have fun, that wants to not take things so seriously, and also maybe face some fears. You know, facing fears could be really liberating the first couple weeks of this week, or the first couple weeks of August. I mean, it could be really liberating. You could feel like, holy shit, I didn't know I had that in me. It could make you feel totally different about yourself. It could make you feel so much more confident and empowered and like ready to take on the damn world. You know what I mean? And so don't be afraid to let yourself shine. Don't be afraid to allow yourself to be in the spotlight for a little bit. Don't be afraid to do shit for you that's gonna make you feel good about you. You know what I mean? This is like that time, you know, this window that you have, because the next few months are gonna get really serious, as I've been saying in my videos lately. Like, it's not going to be this kind of like fun, let's go to the movies, or let's go out on a date, or let's do something out of my comfort zone that gets me away, but that is also really fun and exciting. Like, you may not have the chance to do that again. And I just feel like we're kind of almost at the end of this window that we've had to really like let it all out, let ourselves loose, you know what I mean, before things get crazy again. Whether that be personally or in the world, I mean, it's going to be a little different for everybody. Unless it's in the world, then I guess it's probably going to have more of an effect on most people. But just saying, depending on your situation, it could get a little bit restrictive over these next few months. So anyways, other than that, you know, this is just really a time where it's like, where have you been worried way too fucking much about the responsibility, the commitments, the burdens of everyday shit, work, health, you know, your daily kind of grind, and where can you get away from that and have fun and be free this month and be free to express a more fun, you know, confident, silly, goofy side of yourself that's been trying to get out for a while. So yeah, don't be afraid to put everybody else on the back burner for a little bit. You know, as a Virgo, you guys are very, very, you know, service oriented, serving of others, helping others. I know that's your thing, but this is the time where you can go to the spa, kick your feet back and do you. You know what I mean? This is a time where you can, like, where you can shine for a little bit, right? Instead of being the sign right after the sun, right? Because I always explain it like this, like, you know, the sun, which rules Leo, is like, you know, here I am, you know, and Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. And, you know, Mercury rules your sign, you come right after Leo. And so it's kind of like Leo threw a party and Virgo is like stuck cleaning up the mess. Or Leo is doing whatever and Virgo is like trying to be the assistant, you know, because Mercury kind of has that like, well, hold on, what about the details? Let's analyze this. Let's understand this. What about the data? What about this? You know what I mean? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not like telling you guys are less than Leo or anything like that. I have Virgo in my chart. I have plenty of Virgo energy in my life. So I'm just saying that it's just like a funny metaphor I came up with. But I'm just saying this is the time of year to kick back, let loose, put your shit down, put the mental shit down, and try to have fun. You know what I mean? And make sure that you're not being too critical of shit that you miss the fun opportunities. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're not too focused on the details or obsessing about things or, you know, whatever, that you're missing a time to have fun. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like later on this year, we're going to be like, damn, I had that window of opportunity and I wish I would have taken it. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm trying to say here. So anyways, so yeah, that's kind of the theme, the first part of the month. Venus is also in your sign, Virgo. So you're probably feeling, sorry, it looks like there was a naked guy, but he's not naked. He's just got really short shorts on. And so, but he looked naked at first. So it's like, damn. Venus is in your sign. So, and maybe that was your sign to like, I don't know, go to a nudist colony or something. I personally would like love to have that experience. Just think it would be different, but by that maybe my Aquarian moon. But anyways, Venus is in your sign, so you know, you could be very much this month up until like towards the end, like the very end of the month, with Venus in your sign, very much a little bit more worried about appearances, pleasure, you know, doing things that feel good, doing things, you know, changing your style or doing things for yourself, buying things for yourself, worried about your looks, changing your wardrobe, stuff like this could really happen. You could be feeling a little bit more magnetic, compassionate, kind. And we actually did get the compassion card here that I got, compassion and sacred sexuality. And so I feel like these could be definite things that you see coming up in the month of August where, you know, you could be feeling a little more flirtatious than you usually do. You know, that Venus energy, you know, feeling kinder, more compassionate, especially with the connections in your life, the relationships in your life. And you could be really either thinking about or getting into sexuality themes, topics, something along those lines. And, you know, yeah, so this could be like a big theme for this month, or one theme for this month. We also have share wisdom and the power card. And so I feel like, you know, especially once Mercury moves into your sign, it's going to be very easy for you to be sharing certain things that you know, or certain things that you think, certain opinions, especially once Mercury conjuncts Mars. And this is going to be a big one for you guys, Virgo. So Mercury enters Virgo August 11th, depending on where you are in the world. It may be like a day or two off, but around mid-August, almost. And then we have Venus entering into Libra, August 16th. And then we have on the 18th, Mercury and Mars coming into a conjunction in your sign. So what this means to me is that it could be very, very easy around this time. You could be feeling very fired up, very passionate about certain things, or very driven about a certain topic around this time, or around this week, basically around the 18th, where you are, and it could be like a few days before this, a few days after, so do keep that in mind, but where maybe it's like kind of like the word vomit transit, where shit just comes out like quicker than you can really think about it. It's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna say this, or, you know, your thoughts just automatically come out. And so you do want to watch that, because there could be some backlash from that. At times, you know what I mean? You could find yourself arguing, or being a little bit more argumentative, being a little bit more frustrated when you talk. So that's kind of the downside of it. But the great side of it is that you could be feeling very, very driven to share certain information, to research certain things. This would be a good time to speak out about something that maybe you've been keeping in, to say something that maybe you've been keeping. And so this is basically what I'm seeing with that. Another way that this could play out is that you could be feeling like you could be very overly critical towards other people, towards yourself. So that's like another thing that you really want to watch out for with that transit. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get into your cards. So the first two cards that came out actually were the Knight of Wands here, and the Queen of Swords. And this could really be that kind of Mercury-Mars energy as well. But my first kind of, you know, the first kind of things that came to me when I saw this was that, you know, you could be really driven right now, especially starting off August, about some kind of future goal, some kind of vision that you have. You know, you could be really in overdrive trying to get the details or set the details of this vision. There could also be, once again, some kind of something in the background where you are maybe like sabotaging yourself unknowingly, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's not that you realize it, but where you are kind of flying into something unknowingly, like where you're focused on one thing, but in the background, it's like something else. And another thing that I get from this is kind of like I was saying, to kind of go enjoy yourself instead of second guessing everything, or instead of, you know what I mean? Feeling like you have to continue to work and, you know, be precise, etc., etc. So that was kind of what I was getting from those three cards. We also have the Hermit and the Three of Wands here. And so once again, going out and enjoying yourself, not being afraid to get away, to maybe turn the technology off for a little bit and experience life, experience something fun. You know, the Ten of Cups oftentimes is like, you know, a getaway, or, you know, doing something that really gets you away. You know, it's another way that I personally interpret it a lot of the time. But, you know, this is definitely a time of like rethinking kind of what you want for the future, or your next steps, you know what I mean? If there is a point this month where you are feeling a little bit confused or slowed down or whatever when it comes to your next step, maybe taking a step back and reconsidering, looking at your next step, etc. So it also looks like we have some emotional or relational connection stuff coming up here, because we have the Three of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So and really what I'm kind of getting from this is maybe some kind of apology or some kind of reconciliation with some kind of emotional disturbances from the past, whether it be from childhood, whether it be from family, or maybe some kind of emotional connection in your life. It really is, I feel like, possibly kind of solving something. Not necessarily, that's not the word I want to use either. Kind of like an amends, or kind of like, you know, and the reason I say that, because if it was just the Queen of Cups and the Three of Swords, I'd be like, yeah, you know, this isn't, this isn't too hot. But the Knight of Cups fell out right after it, and I could tell it like wanted to come out. And so I feel like this is like an opportunity or a chance to, you know, kind of hash something out emotionally. So that's what I'm getting there. And then, and I feel like you're also getting a chance to move beyond your bounds, to move beyond something that maybe has been restrictive or holding you back, to intuitively move forward with something, because we have the Chariot and the Nine of Wands reversed here. And so I feel like it's like you're almost like breaking down these walls that maybe you've built or had up for a long time. And Jupiter is back in Aquarius now. It just moved back in Aquarius from your 7th house of Pisces. And so it is kind of like you are going back and you know, you've gotten a taste of the kind of relationships you want, the kind of connections you want in your life. But there may be some things that need to be resolved when it comes to work and kind of your day-to-day burdens, maybe stuff you've been holding on to from the past, certain walls that you've built. These need to be hashed out, and it looks like you're finally moving on, like you're finally moving forward from something that's been really restricting you. And I really do feel like this is either relationship based, these two cards, or that it's been more of so something that you've been like holding yourself back from in life in general. Okay, so that's what I'm getting there. Now these are interesting. So then we get the Judgment card, the Two of Swords reversed, and the Four of Pentacles. And I was getting kind of two different vibes off these three cards. One of them is that maybe my first initial thing was like, okay, you are possibly judging something too soon and not really weighing it out, not really looking at the other side and being a little bit stubborn about it, is kind of what I was getting originally from this. So the more that I looked at these though, I was like, okay, no, this could be something a little bit different. So I kind of feel like this is like maybe finally making a final decision on something, especially something to do with financially. You know, this could be, you know, especially with the Two of Swords reversed, I feel like this is kind of like sticking to your guns about something financially, or sticking to your guns about something materially, physically, you know, sticking to your values, sticking to what's important to you. Because after this, we also have the Six of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. And so it's kind of like, I feel like there are some financial things going on, possibly mid to end month this month, where it's like maybe you're needing to make a final decision, or yeah, and I feel like it has something to do with some kind of compromise or transaction, some kind of this for that, or, you know, something like that, where it's like you're trying to do something evenly, you're trying to even balance something out to keep something fair, but you realize that maybe it isn't going to be fair, and maybe that there's nothing that you can do about that. Like you're there's a certain fear that comes up when it's like, oh, I need to help people, or I need to help this person financially, or I need to do something, you know, but maybe you can't. And so there could be like some sort of stress there. And so I feel like this is kind of a time of like learning where to be kind of frugal with your money, or it may not be money, maybe it's just something else in another situation. But learning like when you can help people and when you can't, could be a massive kind of theme or lesson coming up here, where it's like, you know, you may not, I don't know, the situation could be different. I'm like having trouble figuring out how to say this. For some of you, it could mean that maybe you need to be a little bit more compromising. Maybe you need to compromise on the situation. For others of you, it may feel like you want to, but you can't. You know, where you have to maybe tell someone no, is kind of what I'm getting here. So anyways, and then we end with the Two of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. So I feel like here you're kind of like, you know, working because you are looking towards the future. You've made a decision and you are working towards some kind of goal. You're working towards, you know, the decision that you've made. So this is going to be, I feel like that's really awesome. So anyways, and then last but not least, your final cards, we have the Balance card, Sacrifice, and this is what I was kind of saying before. It's like you're trying to compromise something, especially when when Venus moves into Libra on the 16th. So those last couple weeks of the month, it's like you're trying to compromise something. You're trying to make things fair, but if you do that, then you have to sacrifice something. And so you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, do I say no and not compromise and whatnot, or do I compromise and then I sacrifice, you know, something for myself, you know? So, and you know, the decision I think is going to be different for different ones of you. It really, I do feel like the first part of this month is very much about, you know, doing things for yourself. But the second half of this month, it's definitely going to be a time of figuring out how to save money and how to kind of keep your own money in the midst of other people or relationships or connections, because I really feel like somebody here is maybe going to ask you for money or want something from you, and it's kind of like you may not be able to give it. For some of you may, and it may not be a big deal, but I'm just saying. Okay, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Universe, which is the World. So really big cards here. So massive cycles ending, you know, this month. Massive, you know, I'm really kind of getting like a blast from the past, or it feels like different timelines are really connecting, or a lot of synchronicities this month, especially with the 12th house energy as well. It could really feel like, wow, like, you know, there's just so many different timelines going on here that are connecting, or different puzzle pieces fitting together, new perspectives, and yeah, and so it could feel a little bit, there could be some things that feel a little bit out of your control, but also that feel very fated and synchronistic. And I feel like you guys should definitely trust that and go with it. And I feel like the Chariot kind of represents that as well. So that is what I'm getting for you guys, Virgo. Let me see if there's anything else in the astrology here that I want to talk about. I don't think so. That's basically it. I feel like at the very end of the month, on the 29th, Mercury will move into Libra as well. And it will be, the next couple months after that will definitely be about whatever comes up with this compromise and money, or what you have to offer. You know, and so I think it's going to be a couple months of figuring it out with that kind of situation, or the themes of that situation that comes up. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, Virgo. I will see you guys in my other videos. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know down below if this ends up resonating for you or has helped you in any way. It really helps me out when you comment down below. So I would really appreciate that, and I will see you guys in my other videos.